Hi, this is Ali Arango of ArangoDigitalProduction.com, and today I want to show you how to do swinging text inside of Blender rather than After Effects. So let's get started. If you're new to Blender, the first thing I recommend you do is go to File, User Preferences. This menu will pop up, then go to Input and click Select with left clicked rather than right clicked, and then Save User Settings. It's just a setting that most people, if you're used to Adobe programs or other 3D programs, that's one of the things. I just don't want that causing you a problem here in Blender. Okay, the first thing you're going to want to do is delete this cube. You're going to select the cube, hit X, then delete. Let me turn up my screencast keys. Okay, after that cube is deleted, what you're going to do is hit 7 to go in the top view on your number keypad. You're then going to hit Shift A to bring in your text. All right, once this text comes in here, you can roll your mouse wheel in to zoom in a little bit. Then what you're going to do is go over to this F right here, go down to where you see font, click this folder right here. On my computer, go to Windows 8.1. You're just going to click Windows, go to Fonts. I learned this font from Andrew Price over at the Blender Guru, and I like it. BBAS, and you just double click here, and that'll just change your text to that font. All right, once you have this text, what you're going to do is hit the Tab key to go into Edit mode. Once you go into Edit mode, you'll be able to alter your text. So I'm just going to backspace and turn on my cap lock, Blender. I'm going to hit Tab to come back into object mode. And as we're doing a swinging text, what you're going to want is all of your text to be separate objects. So wherever you right click in Blender is where your next object you're bringing into Blender will be. So you're just going to right click right here. We're going to hit Shift A again, and we're going to just write out Blender is pretty amazing, I guess we'll put. So we're just going to hit text again. Hit Tab to enter into edit mode, backspace, is, Tab to come out. We're just going to go down again, right click, Shift A, text, hit Tab to go into edit mode, backspace, type in pretty, hit Tab to come back out again, right click to move your cursor. Remember, when you right click is where your Blender objects are going to come in. That's why you're right clicking. You're going to hit Shift A, text again, hit Tab, backspace, and then type in amazing, or you can type in whatever you want. Whoops. Okay, now that we have this text, we're going to just style it a little bit. And basically what we're going to do, if you can see the grid background right here, we're going to use that to kind of set up our text. So you're going to click back on Blender, and what you're going to do is hit S for scale, and then X to scale on the X-axis. You're then going to hit the select your is text, hit S to scale, scale on the X to make it about the size of that the Blender word above it is. Then you're going to select pretty, hit S to scale, X to scale on the X-axis. Then you're going to hit amazing and S to scale, and then X on the to scale on the X-axis. Okay, now what you're going to want to do is you're going to click on the Blender text at the top, and then you're going to right click just to get your cursor right to the edge of this top of the Blender text. Then you're going to hit Shift Control Alt C, and you'll see this little menu pop up. You're going to go to Origin to 3D Cursor. So click that, and what that's going to do is that is going to allow this Blender to swivel right on there. What you're going to do now is you're going to hold the middle mouse button, and I'm just getting the view so I can see as this text swings back and forth in 3D. I'm going to hit Shift and up on my keyboard. All right. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit right here, and this is automatic keyframe insertion key. So you're going to click that, and then you're going to hit R to rotate, and then X to rotate on the X-axis, and you're going to just take it straight back. And see how I'm lining it up with that green? You kind of want it straight back just like that. And as we go through this, what you're going to want, the way you're going to want to do this, and the way that I kind of like to do it, I mean, there's different variations on it, is you're going to want to do 9 movements. So this is, or have 9 keyframes by the time you come to the end of having the swinging text. So what you're going to do is we're on frame 10. Now you're going to hit shift and then up, the up arrow to get your keyframe to move. Now you're going to hit R to rotate on the X-axis, and you're going to bring it straight down, and you're just rotating this text so it's lined up straight, you know, kind of straight down from where it was. You're going to hit shift and then up arrow again to get your keyframes to move 10 more frames ahead. Now what you're going to do is rotate on the X-axis, and you're going to bring this up to about here. So pretty far out, but not too far. Again, shift and then up with the up arrow. You're going to rotate with the rotate, and then on the X-axis again, and go back the opposite direction. Then you're going to do shift, the up arrow again, rotate on the X-axis again, and I should be saying, okay, as you do this, because it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so we want to go to 9. So you're going to hit shift, up arrow again. So now this would be 6, I believe. Shift, up arrow again. Rotate on the X. This will be 7. You see how what I'm doing is that basically what I'm doing is I went up a little bit, and hopefully you're able to see that pretty far in the one, and then on this one, I'm kind of like every time it swings, I am decreasing the motion. And hopefully you can see that by the angle. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're going to have 2 more movements. So then you're going to hit shift and then up, the up arrow again, rotate on the X-axis, bring it back too far. You can kind of tell from this red line, if you look, you can see how the blender is kind of going along with that. And then you're going to hit, the blender text is going along with that, I meant. You're going to hit shift and then up on the shift and the up arrow again, and then RX. And basically what that auto keyframe is, if you look down, the keyframes are automatically being put in. So now what we're going to do, we have that animation. So now you can see, and we'll play through so you can kind of, so you can see it. Play. Okay, not perfect, but a basic goal with this tutorial, just to give you an idea. A lot of times I've seen people do this in After Effects. As a matter of fact, I want to give E.C. Abrams credit, who does great After Effects tutorials. I had actually learned this at first through him, and a lot of times you would think of doing this in After Effects, and I had made another tutorial about After Effects and green screening, and it's just pretty awesome that Blender can do a whole lot of what a program that used to cost you $1,000 can do. But okay, now that you have that motion, and we have that motion in, what we're going to do now is you're going to grab this arrow, kind of looks like an arrow right there, the arrow wrinkle kind of thing in the corner. You're going to grab, you're going to click and hold that and drag this out to the side. You're then going to go down in the corner, you're going to click here, and you're going to go to your my brain just skipped out on me for a second. You're going to go to your dope sheet. All right, now these keyframes right here, this is basically showing the animation that we just did. What we can do, without getting super complicated, this is, I'm going to rate this as an intermediate tutorial and not advanced. So basically all you need to know is that these right here are keyframes. You need to know that this right here will lock these keyframes which are attached to this blender. This lock will keep anything being done to that, because we're going to use that in a second. Now what you're going to do is with your time indicator right at the end of where the blender keyframes are at, you're now, well, we're going to do it for all of them. You're going to hit 7 on your number pad keys to go in the top view. Then what you're going to do is select the is right here. If you are using my text, then you're going to right click and you're going to hit Shift Control Alt C, and then origin to 3D cursor. You're going to go to pretty, the same thing. You're going to right click, to get your 3D cursor, and then you're going to, once it's in that place, you're going to hit Shift, Control, Alt, C, origin the 3D cursor, click Amazing, and then again, right click here, and the right click will move. Again, my setup is set up so my default click is left. So my right click is moving this 3D cursor right here, then you're going to hit Shift, Control, Alt, and C, then origin the 3D cursor. All right, now that we've got that, what you're going to do now is you're going to come back to the is text, and what you're going to do is you're going to hit I, and then that's just to insert a manual keyframe. As a matter of fact, let's turn off here. Turn off the automatic keyframe. So make sure you're clicked on the is. You're going to hit I, and then rotation, right? Oh, I messed up. Control Z. Sorry about that, guys. You're going to actually click back on this blender. You're going to come over here, hit A to select all, or deselect it all. Hit A to select again. Now you're going to hit Control C, and then you're going to put a lock on here. So that, and again, we're right here on this, and then we just lock that so we can't do anything to those keyframes. Now we're coming back over to is. We're going to click on is. We're going to hit I to insert a rotation keyframe, even though it's in place. Then we're going to move our mouse over top of this dope sheet panel, and we're going to hit Control V, and then left click to make sure it's locked in. And then now what you should see is that the Blender text comes down, and then the is text comes down. And it's just a cool way of putting that right to that is text. Okay, and now what you want to do is you have the is selected. You can see here's the keyframe for the is right here, ending right here about 170. So now what you're going to do, make sure you have the is selected. Then you can go over here and you can see here's the keyframes for that. So what you want to do is lock this so nothing can be altered with that is. You're then going to go to Pretty Amazing, and you're going to hit I to insert a keyframe, and then click rotation. Then you're going to move your mouse over this panel because it's important where your mouse is at. If you're having problems with this, if you try to do what I'm saying over here, Blender actually switches its what keyframes do what depending on what window you're over. So you're going to be over this window, and you're going to hit Control V. All right, I think you have to left click to lock it in. I'm not sure, but now you should see that when you move here, now Pretty has its keyframes to it. So now the typical Blender timeline, this is goes from 1 to 250. What we're going to do, since we're going beyond that, is you can see right here is the start keyframe. Here's the end keyframe. We're just going to click here, and we'll turn this up to 360. And as soon as I click there, you can see the time frame jumped. And what I'm just going to do is hold Shift and pull with my middle mouse button held in to move this keyframe here. All right, so now that we have the Pretty here, and you see how we have the time frame at the end of where the Pretty time frame ends for the Pretty text. Sounds funny. Anyway, here's the end of the time frame there. So now what you're going to do is go over to this lock and click here to lock that. Now you're going to come to your last text right here. Select this. You're then going to hit I to insert a keyframe, select rotation, and then you're going to go put your mouse over this window, over your dope sheet window, and hit Control V. And now you should see the swinging text effects is adding to that effect. So now we'll come all the way back, and we'll sit there, and you can see there goes Blender, swinging, is swinging, the Pretty, and the Amazing coming in. Okay, now you might see that even as we go over these timelines, the problem is we have a problem, and that problem is that that text is still showing up. So basically, what we want to do is you're going to go to your Blender text is fine since that's the first one. You can just roll your mouse wheel to make this time frame smaller so it's easy to work with. So we'll go to the Blender, and then we'll move the timeline. You can see where that see how the is just starting to fall there. So actually, what we're going to do is select the is, and then what we're going to do is hit the N key to bring up this N menu menu here. And then what we're going to do is you're going to hit go right over actually wrong. Yeah, go right over the scale menu right here, and you're going to hit I to lock in a keyframe there. Now you're going to go to your keyboard and you're going to click one arrow to move to the one. You're going to click the left arrow to move one keyframe over, and you're going to go right over here, right to this scale, just the X, and then you're going to hit the 0 key. And then when you left click, that'll become active. Then you're going to hit I to keyframe that. And then what you'll see is that that will make this text disappear right before until we need it. And it's just an easy way of Blender of having the text come right in. So now what we're going to do is just do that same process for the rest of the text. So you can see again, okay, there it pops out. So now we go to, we're looking for, here we go, pretty. There, so the same thing, we're going to select pretty. You're going to go right here to your scale, the scale with the X value right here, and then you're going to hit I to put a keyframe in, and then you're going to go on your keyboard, you're going to hit a left arrow. Hit your left arrow just to go back one keyframe. You're going to come back up to here to your scale right on the X, and you're going to put in 0. You're going to come and put your, make sure you're holding your mouse over this when you put your keyframe in. So right over the X, then you're going to hit I, and then that keyframe's in there, and then you'll see that pretty pops in there right like it should. So now we just got to go to amazing. And you're just looking for right as it's coming down. So here it is coming down there. So we'll click on amazing. We'll go to the scale right where the X is at, and we will hit I to lock in that keyframe. And then we're going to hit again the arrow pad left, back one, right over the X again. You're going to actually click in here, and then you're going to hit 0 on your keyboard. If I wasn't saying that before, then click out so it locks in, and you're going to hit come back, hold your mouse over that X, and hit I to put the keyframe there. So now it should be, so we go back, Blender falls down, here comes the it is, pretty, and finally the amazing. Okay, that's pretty much it for the swinging text. I mean, obviously, the different keyframes. I tend to use 9 keyframes. I mean, you can adjust them. I mean, obviously, these don't look perfect. My main thing was just to show you guys a basic idea of how you could do this. And, you know, you could add keyframes. I mean, my gosh, you could take it from 9, instead of 9, take it up to 18 and have it be absolutely, you know, like perfect as it's swinging. And of course, this text can be styled. I mean, you're in Blender, so you can put all kinds of 3D text on. My cat's over there begging to get in. Anyway, you can put you know, you could put all kinds of 3D text on there. You can put gold text. I mean, you can extrude it. You can do all kinds of stuff. But this is just a thing I wanted to show you guys. I really hadn't seen anybody I can think of do this in Blender. And I hope you guys get some cool results with this. I had did another program before that had taken some of the stuff that was typically done in After Effects and did it in Blender. Let me guys know if you would like it. Those of you who saw that tutorial, if you like me showing you how it's done in After Effects and then going right into Blender, or that doesn't matter to you. So thank you guys for watching. If you like this tutorial and you want to see more, please subscribe, and thank you guys.